Good evening, folks, and welcome to my Constellation Tour number 48. This is Bill Breeden, and I thank you for joining me tonight. We're going to go over Fornax, the furnace, located in the southern celestial hemisphere of the sky. And we have Stellarium here set up for an observing location in French Guiana in South America. On the 25th of December of 2020, from a suburban location with a field of view of about 60 degrees, simulating what you see with the naked eye. Fornax is far enough south where we need to observe from a location farther south than usual, so that's why we have it set up for French Guiana. So Fornax is best viewed between November and January, making it a wintertime constellation. And let's see, Fornax is located near Eridanus the river and is just north of the bright star Achernar. So, not really used to being this far south, so, and I've got all the star names turned off, so let's see if we can find Fornax. Here's Orion. It's always good to start with something familiar. Here's Rigel and Safe down here. And if you remember from my previous constellation tour, Eridanus the river begins at Rigel and winds its way down and ends way down here at the bright star Achernar. And Fornax is just north of Achernar. So it's a pretty dim constellation. So let's turn on our constellation lines. Actually, it's farther north than I thought. So here's Achernar here, and Fornax is actually way up here. So it's quite a ways north of Achernar and quite a ways south of Rigel. So Fornax is sort of in the middle of Eridanus the river. And you can see there really are no bright guide stars to find Fornax. So I guess what I would do is use Rigel and Achernar and just figure that Fornax is about halfway between them over here. Well, that'll get you in the general area. So Fornax is pretty devoid of bright stars. You have just these two here. And this one's probably the alpha star. Yeah, there we go. Dalem is Alpha Fornacis, and then this star here is the beta star, Beta Fornacis. And Alpha Fornacis is actually a double star. So let's have a little look-see at that through the finder. And it doesn't split at this magnification. Let's see if we can zoom in on it and get it to split. There we go. So Dalem does split eventually. It looks like it would take a medium high to high power eyepiece to split Alpha Fornacis. Okay, let's have a look at where this constellation is in the sky. And you can see, let's look up a little bit. Here's Orion, and here's Rigel here, and Eridanus the river is all of this area here in this stair-step pattern, all the way down to Achernar, which is Alpha Eridani. And Fornax is within this boundary here, where there's really no bright stars. I mean, even Alpha Fornacis is only a 4th magnitude star, and that's the brightest star in the constellation. So, in order to really enjoy the treats that Fornax has for us, we do need to observe from a dark location. So let's make it dark. There we go. Let's see if it's any easier to find Fornax from a dark location. Here's Orion here. Betelgeuse, Bellatrix, Rigel, Safe, and then the 3 belt stars. So coming off of Rigel and coming all the way down here to Achernar, you have Eridanus, and halfway between them, somewhere in this region, I believe. Yeah, I nailed it that time. So from a dark site, Fornax really just does not stand out. Here is the alpha star here, and here is the beta star here. So it looks like some of these other stars. Let's see. Yeah, really no bright stars that stand out. So what is it about Fornax that we would want to observe? Well, Fornax is best known for the Fornax cluster of galaxies. And when you're observing in the direction of Fornax, you're sort of looking out of the Milky Way galaxy. You're kind of looking beyond all the dust that is in the plane of the Milky Way. So you're looking away from all that. So you have a window to intergalactic space when you look in the direction of Fornax. That's why there's not much there. But since you can see through all of the gas and dust of our own Milky Way, distant galaxies become visible. So, and there are plenty of them in what's known as the Fornax cluster of galaxies. So let's make it more realistic, and let's turn on our deep sky object so we can see the Fornax cluster. There we go. The Fornax cluster of galaxies is in this region right here. You can see this outline here shows you where Fornax is, and this tight grouping of galaxies is the Fornax cluster. So let's get a little closer here and start with the brightest member, known as Fornax A, or NGC 1316. And it looks like even through the finder, you're going to see a really nice bright smudge. It's magnitude 8.3. So for as far as galaxies go, that's pretty decent magnitude. If you're observing the Fornax cluster, you're probably at a dark site. So let's see. The distance to this galaxy is 55 million light years. So let's have a look through a 24 millimeter wide angle eyepiece. And you can see you're treated to 2 galaxies here. You have Fornax A, which is NGC 1316, and then you have Fornax B, which is NGC 1317. And they're both 55 million light years away, and they are interacting with each other. See, Fornax A is magnitude 8.5, and Fornax B is magnitude 11. So really need pristine dark skies to observe these galaxies. Okay, we're going to keep our finder scope view here because all of these galaxies are clustered so close together. Another fine target would be NGC 1399, another member of the Fornax cluster of galaxies. And through a low power eyepiece, you get a bonus galaxy. You get NGC 1404 along with NGC 1399. This is a 10th magnitude galaxy located 59 million light years from Earth. Okay, another member of the Fornax cluster is NGC 1365. Yeah, if anyone is observing within the boundaries of Fornax, they're most likely diving into the Fornax cluster of galaxies. So NGC 1365 is also known as the Great Barred Spiral Galaxy. And I don't think that any barred spiral competes with this one as far as just stunning beauty. This galaxy is located 61 million light years from Earth and shines at 10th magnitude. Okay, I have another member of the Fornax cluster of galaxies, and that is NGC 1427. Well, this one's pretty small and faint. So let's put the 19 millimeter on it instead of the 24 millimeter. This is a 12th magnitude galaxy located 55 million light years from Earth. So just to orient you as to where all these galaxies are in the sky. You can see this here, this where I'm drawing an arrow here, this is the boundary of Fornax. And the Great Fornax cluster, or the Fornax cluster of galaxies, is right here on the edge of the constellation, almost sharing a border with Eridanus. Let me give you an idea of where this is in the sky. Here's Rigel here in Orion, and here's Achernar here in Eridanus. And Fornax is in this area here. And the Fornax cluster of galaxies is right around in here. Start panning around this area with binoculars, and you'll be treated to a view of all of these galaxies, including the Great Barred Spiral. So let's have a look at the mythical figures, and let's see. You'll see that Fornax is shown to be this furnace here inside the bend of Eridanus, the river. So you've got the river flowing from Rigel, which is the foot of Orion, all the way around here. It loops around Fornax, Calum, the chisel, Horologium, the pendulum clock, and then Phoenix here. So Fornax is this empty area right here, and the Fornax cluster of galaxies is right around here. Pretty stunning area of the sky, actually, even though it's not very much to look at by naked eye. If you pan around with binoculars or a telescope, the cluster of galaxies is stunning. So this concludes my tour of Fornax the Furnace. Good night and good seeing.